talk about how to join slabs together. Okay, so the best time to work with slabs is when they are leather hard, right? But you can't stick them together, they don't stay, right? You can't try to squish them together because nothing squishes, all right? So the answer to this is a 3-step process, and that is score, slip, and blend. All right, so the scoring part and the slipping is that we're trying to make this soft so that it will stick back together. And the slip, because remember that's liquidy, make sure that we're not gonna trap any air bubbles that might cause trouble in the firing process. So we're going to talk about 2 ways that we can join these slabs. The first one is it's actually a woodworking term too. Wait a minute, I got the wrong 2 together. I think they don't fit. There we go. All right, so this is called a butt joint because the 2 pieces just dead end into each other and butt together. See that? Okay, so I am lining up the edge and putting it together this way. So I'm going to score and slip the 2 edges where these go together. So I'm going to start by roughing it up or scoring it. This is a tooth rib, all right? Kind of shaped like half of a rib cage if you put 2 together, right? You see where it looks like a rib cage? And it's toothed because it's got that rough edge on it. Sometimes they're smooth. They come in different materials. You can use just about anything to rough this up. Paper clips, a fettling knife, a needle tool, all right? This tooth rib, because it has lots of these serrations, just works pretty quickly, all right? Now, I like to just use my finger for slip. Clay is a very hands-on project and I love to be messy. Anyway, so I just like to use my finger, but you are welcome to use a paintbrush or some other tool you might be able to imagine to get that slip on there. Okay, so I'm going to score and slip. And I'm going to do that 3 or 4 times until it's nice and soft. You can already see that when I go back over it with the rib, it softens up quickly. All right, I'm going to go 1 more time just because these guys are on the drier end of leather hard. All right, I'll make sure there's slip on there. And then I'm going to stick them together. All right, so that's great. Look, they're stuck together. The problem is that they're not going to stay together when this dries. It will just pop apart if you don't blend it. All right, now because it's not soft like plastic clay, so I can't squish it together, I'm gonna take a little bitty coil. Oh, it doesn't wanna roll for me right now. All right, just a little bitty coil, and I'm gonna make sure there's slip in here, and I am going to, my favorite tool for blending is the top of my fingernail. I just flip my finger over. You could use a sculpture tool or again, clay being ceramics, being kind of on the low-tech side. You could use whatever you can come up with, but I like to just use the tops of my fingernails. All right, so I blend that together. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Make sure there's slip on here. I'm gonna take this little plastic coil and I'm going to smooth it in. All right, so not only does this ensure that there's a good bond, but it also gives this nice smooth look on your seam. Okay, so that is a butt joint. Okay, now there is another option for joining. I will leave that here, and that is to create a miter joint. And a miter joint is one that fits together exactly together. You can use a fettling knife, or I don't mind personally. I kind of like just using an X-Acto knife. But the idea here is that you're going to cut a 45-degree angle on here. All right. So actually, I'll do it this way. I think you can see it better. I like to set it over the edge of the table and slice it away from myself. All right. But in this case, I'm just going to slice down so that you can see. So that's an option too. All right. There's that little thing stuck on there, a little crumb, so that my knife didn't. All right, so I'm going to put this at a 45 to the corner. Remember, a 45 is half of a 90. All right, and I am just going to slice down, all right, so that I get this little angle. All right, can you see that? And then I do the same thing on the other side. All All right, so now I have these two and they fit together like this. All right, so that is a miter joint. That's going to give you a really crisp corner. All right, so same thing. I'm going to score, slip, and score, and slip, and we'll go again. Get that nice and gooey and soft so we can stick it together. Make sure there's a lot of slip in there. I'm gonna fit that joint the way I want it, right there, to make that nice 90-degree angle. Then I am going to grab some plastic clay and blend that in. All right, same thing on the outside corner. I'm going to blend that, keep it nice and crisp. And on the top and bottom. All right, so that is a miter joint. All right, so there are two ways you can attach those together. So just remember that when you're attaching things together, especially when they are leather hard, you need to do the 3 steps of score, slip, and blend some plastic clay in. Say that one more time. Score, slip, and blend.